What was your first official entrance into music?
But I don't really want to go back over my bio, man. I've done this shit 100 million times, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, everybody knows the history, but I just even thinking back to all that shit, I'm writing a book now. I'll say that shit for the book. You know what I mean? I think all that shit is in my rear view, man. That's not what defines me. You know what I mean? And I want to move on from that. Let's talk about what I'm doing now. Let's talk about what I've done in the last 5 years. Because I think what I've done in the last 5 years will probably affect pop culture for the next 100. Even if in the moment it doesn't, you don't know right now because I haven't done it for everybody to see. And, what I've been doing is I've been running around the world looking for like-minded people that want to be independent, people that want to stick together, people that want to enjoy life. But I couldn't find that like that in America. It was like I had, I hung out with everybody cool. So I went to China, I went to Thailand, I went to Hong Kong, I went to Beijing, we went to Jamaica, and we filmed it. And we we ran into artists from all different walks of life, like rock and rap and DJs and jazz, and opened art galleries, in Charleston and in Tribeca, and I just taped everything, and I developed a station for it, so I ain't got to talk about it. People could just see it. So I've been developing this television network really on the Liggity for the last 5 years, through DD 172 and then Poppington, which is now, and you can now see it, and I don't believe, like the new HBO is Netflix, and Netflix is not on cable, so I think, what's legit right now is, the internet, and that's why, if you notice, that's where you can really see everything and understand my point of view. So I have a television network, it's called the Poppington Group, it's PGTV, it's independent. And I think that hip hop now should be looked at culturally as intellectual, because we are, and we should make money off our intelligence and our natural, authentic experiences as opposed to the ignorant and emotional parts of it. And I think the people that should reap the benefits of it should be of the culture. And because of the internet, there's no more middleman. And that's what I want to focus on, is not only being an example of being able to be independent without compromising quality of living, but also showing other people how to do it. And then also making people responsible that have been taking advantage of our culture, but not giving back to it to the extent that they don't even feel that they have to even answer for it. Like, I just don't care. And that's for Joey on Combat Jack's show. You know what I'm saying? He just said, I don't care. Like, I don't care what y'all think. I'm gonna rape your culture. I don't care if you don't feel I deserve to be here. You don't even deserve an answer, even though, he hasn't done nothing outside of his culture or in the culture. He just deserves to be called a president of urban.
One of the things that you mentioned that was kind of interesting to me was you talked about the entrepreneur mentality versus employee mentality. Explain that a little bit.
It's just not having a boss, but it means you have to put up your own money, which to some people is unfathomable, which is unfathomable to me. But that's only because I've had a certain way of living my whole life. Entrepreneur means you put up your own money, you buy some stuff and you sell it for probably double what you bought it. Or it could mean that you make money off somebody and you have a commission, but then it's going to mean someone's going to resent you, But it's just being your own boss, really. And being able to sacrifice what you call security for what some people call insecurity. Putting your money where your mouth is, eating the food you kill, being a true wild animal. I'm just not a tamed beast. I just never had a leash on my neck. I've never had anyone pull me in any direction that I don't feel like going. I've never had to ask somebody when I could come in or when I could go, or it's just nothing that I would want for my kids. It's nothing that I would want for anyone that I care about. And I care about my culture. I really do I care about my culture. Like, I'm part of, my culture's like my block. The way I love my block, the way motherfuckers love their boroughs, the way niggas be screaming out Brooklyn, that's the way they supposed to be screaming out their culture. I love my culture. When someone from my culture wins, I'm happy, just like someone from my block wins. So I'm never mad when someone from my culture wins. When someone from my culture's fucking up, I'm not usually gonna do it in front of people. I might have an issue with it, but I'm not gonna publicly chastise that person because it kills the bigger picture. But when someone's raping my culture, when someone's abusing my culture, it's like watching a kid get molested. That's not my kid, but I'm not gonna sit there and watch it get molested. But really, it is, it's not my kid, it's my block. I'm not gonna sit there and watch my block get tore down, my culture get tore down just because I made it. So I just feel like as a culture, we all need to be questioning these people. Like, how come it's only me? Like, how come nobody's really asking Joey, why you feel that you should be the president of Urban at Interscope? Who's his boss that said, yo, you should be watching Urban people? Like, what? That's some racist shit to me. That title is racist. And how does a man outside the culture have that title? You see, it makes me a little bit passionate, and I usually don't. But again, I have passion for my culture, But I just don't understand why we let them do that. I heard the Comeback Jack show, and I listened to the questions, and I said, see, this is the problem. The people asking the questions only ask the questions that the people that want to be that are being asked want to be asked. You got to ask somebody some questions that are challenging. You got to question somebody. They can't just give you any dumb answer. You're a lawyer. So if somebody says they don't remember, you're supposed to be like, come on, man, you're a CEO or you're a president or you're supposed to be the president of Urban. You don't remember what deals you gave somebody? You think it's all right to give another man's number to some other man, even though you don't have his permission? You don't know etiquette of gentlemen, and you're supposed to be the president of something? To the extent that because you don't know better, someone could get hurt in a really bad way? That's dangerous. And these are who people are giving the titles to control our culture, because that's all president of Urban means. So whoever's Joey's boss should be responsible. Like, yo, why didn't you hire somebody from the culture, dog? Like how come it's not even enough respect to even pretend to put somebody and say that we respect you enough to have one of you do this. Like, you got someone from my culture asking you if you could put someone else from their culture out. Like, if you like this guy, like hearing him give his opinion on urban music. I don't know, man.
Joey's boss is Jimmy.
Hey, man, he's in my rear view. Actually, he's small. I'm talking about Lior, man. How come nobody's questioning Lior and his 360 deals? Did you see the attitude? I don't have to answer. I don't care. I don't care what you've done in your culture. I don't have to answer you. And I don't think I just don't find that respectful. I find it flagrantly disrespectful. And I find people that just turn the other way, I think you gotta hold yourself accountable as well. You can't just get mad at the culture vultures. You gotta get mad at the people that's being culture vultured.